Hello cadets and future officers. This is Siddharth Mishra. I welcome you into the YouTube channel of Indore Defense Academy. About today's video, we are going to tell you how to fill your PIQ form, which is very crucial in your SSB interviews. And 60 to 70% of the things which are gonna ask you into your personal interview is directly coming from your PIQ. PIQ is also called resume, or we can say horoscope or kundli. So whenever you gonna apply for any kind of a job, you give a certain resume to the interviewing officer, to the administrative officer of that particular company. Same here it is. It is filled by you, all details is filled by you, and it is gonna into the hand of your psychologist, your interviewing officer and your GTO. So today I am telling you where the candidate missed the crucial thing about this PIQ form. So stay tuned and take a PIQ form in your hand, and before going to your SSB interview, I just advise you to fill it 2-3 times. And very important thing is that you don't have to do any kind of a scribbling, you don't have to do any kind of a error or any kind of a mistake which is gonna cost you into your personal interview. Interview officer will see, and if it is not neat and clean, if it is full of scribbling, then he may gonna judge you. I'm not saying that whole interview is gonna buy this PIQ form, but yeah, 60 to 70% of your PIQ form and all the information you had written on that, the interviewing officer will ask the questions directly from your PIQ, and it is gonna play a very crucial role in your selection. So SSB interview, it's all about the small things, all about the microscopic things which you are gonna ignore. We will tell you what to ignore and what not to ignore. Let's check it out. So into the day one, what is PIQ form? What is the significance of the PIQ form and right way to fill up the PIQ form? So what is a PIQ form? This is a PIQ form. It will have 2 pages, right? And we have to fill it. The significance is that it is all about your blueprint of your personality. It's all about how you gonna tackle the things in the life, what is your origin, where are you currently, and what you gonna be, right? We will tell you in the second slide. So it is a set of fundamental questions written on the piece of a paper required for an interview in the SSB. So these questions can help evaluator form a more accurate opinion about the candidates. A 2-page questionnaire known as the basic PIQ form asks the candidate about some fundamental aspects of his and her identity. Private life. These questions help to establish their personality. Everything written on the form of must match the actions of the candidate. So whatever you have written on that, it must be reflected in your TAT, in your VAT, in your self-description or the situation reaction test. So I already told you, your psych, your GTO officer and your interviewing officer is gonna check your PIQ before you gonna appear to them, right? So psychologists analyze your complete background relating to your level of education, participation in extracurricular activities and all the other column. If you are not physically present to him, he will form a mental picture about you, about your attitude, about how you think, about how you give the conclusion. Everything is seen before they assess you by your PIQ form. Then you can understand why this is very important. Importance of PIQ in a GTO. PIQ is a coherence between your performance and what you wrote. Like you write that you were the captain of a team, but during a group task, you are not able to coordinate with your teammates. You are not doing your group task well. So you write that you are an athlete, but you are not giving your overall performance. So maybe you had been bluffed, whatever written in your PIQ form. Okay. In the personal interview, your PIQ is the most important in your personal interview, right? If how many marks you got into your 10th, how many marks you got into your 12th, your graduation, if there is any kind of a gap, right? Best would that you have to film with yourself without any kind of a help, and then keep the questions of it and then analyze your responses. You have to write your responses, and you have to also, we will tell you how to make questions from that kind of a responses in your PIQ form. So we can say we have to fill it and we have to introspect what kind of a things which we had written. And for the most thing, I wanted to tell you that we don't have to bluff. We don't have to give any kind of a false information, right? If we gonna false information, then there is a probability then they will get our false things, whatever you had written on that, and this is gonna give a very kind of a bad reputation about yourself. So please be cautious while filling up your PIQ form. Now coming to the PIQ form. So this is a Spiceman PIQ form. This is the same kind of a PIQ form which is gonna be given into your screening time and after your screening time, right? So first of all, type of entry. If you are a CDS entry, if you are an NDA entry, if you are an NCC entry, if you are a SSC Tech entry, you have to write there. The batch number is given to the candidate when he appears into the SSB. It is written on the blackboard there. So you have to check it out, your batch number at the SSB only. The chest number. So you have to write your chest number after your screening. We can see that there are the two chest numbers. First is given before your SSB screening. Second chest number you will get after your screening. So you have to write your chest number after your screening. Okay, don't make any kind of a mistake that you are writing your chest number before screening, right? Your UPSC roll number, obviously you are NDA entry, you are a CDS entry, you have to write your roll number. The choice of arm, you are Army, Navy, Air Force, you have to write it. Your OIR, this is none of your business to fill the OIR. All kind of administrative officers will fill whatever you got into your OIR exam. Your marks will be written there, okay, and you will not get any kind of information about it, okay. One more thing I am going to tell you, that while giving you the PIQ form, the junior officers were always present at the SSB, and they will give you the proper instructions how to fill it. You have to heed the instructions. We don't have to ignore the instructions, right? Like they can say that you have to fill your PIQ form in the all capital letters. So you have to fill your PIQ form in the all capital letters. They can say that you have to fill your PIQ form in the black pen. You have to fill your PIQ form in blue pen. So you have to keep all kind of pens with you, and whatever they are going to instruct you, you have to follow without any kind of a haziness, right? So here we start. Name in the capital letters. So you have to write your name into the capital letters, okay. Date of birth, you have to mention your date of birth here, your age, years, in years and the month, right? You have to mention your height in the meters, okay. You can write also in the centimeter in the bracket. Weight, what is your weight currently? You have to write in kgs. Religion, you have to mention your religion. If you are a Hindu, if you are Islam, if you follow the Islam, if you follow the Buddhism, if you are a Christian, whatsoever. If you are ST or SC, you have to mention it, okay. If you are a general category guy, you don't have to write general, okay. If you are a ST or SC, then make mark here. Otherwise, you don't have to do any kind of a thing. Martial status, obviously you are for NDA entry, CDS entry, you have to write it single, okay. If you are a territorial army entry and by chance you are married, then you have to mention married, okay. Mother tongue, what is your mother tongue? So you have to write Hindi, and in the bracket whatever the area you comes from. Like I come from the Bundelkhand or the Baghelkhand. I will write Bundeli, Baghelkhandi, Malvi, Malayali, Bengali. So you can write it here. Okay. Very important is 7th point, the place of residence. First is present address, second is the permanent address, third is the place of maximum residence, right? So in the present address, you have to write currently where are you living, currently with your parents, where are you living? You have to write your whole address, you have to write the district, you have to write state, okay? And you have to write approx population of the place. It is always in approx. You can check out Google if you don't know about your population, about your city's population. You can check on the Google according to the 2011 census. Coming to the permanent address, it is all about where you belong, from where your roots are. Actually, right, where your parents belong. So you have to write that place. Okay. Same, you have to write district, your city, your state, approx the population of the place. They are judging actually by this column that are either you are from the rural background or the urban background. If you are a rural background, maybe that you will get the less opportunities to get learned, to get education, to get any kind of a facilities. But if you are from the urban, then you have a maximum chances and maximum opportunities. Okay, so you can't bluff your interviewing officer that I didn't got any kind of opportunities. I didn't got a time to learn English. I didn't get any time to learn your general knowledge. So you can't bluff. Okay. So these kind of things are asked in the PIQ form for a psychological approach, for the interview approach. Okay. Coming to the third, place of maximum residence. So you have to write if your parents are into the army or any kind of a government officer and they are continuously transferred from one place to another. So in this, you have to write where the maximum time you spent your life with your parents. Okay. Sometimes it's 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. So you have to write that maximum time. Okay. Same, the district, your whole address, your state, and the approx population of the place. Okay. Coming to the next page. Education. You have to mention your 10th class, about your 10th class, if you are a CBSE candidate, if you are a ICSE, if you are a state board. Okay. You have to mention here name of the institution and the place correctly, year, medium of instruction, if you are a Hindi or English, day boarder, day scholar or the boarder. Day scholar means you go to your school and come back at the evening, right? That is called day scholar. If you are a boarder, then you are living in the premises of the school, then it is called the boarder. Like Sainik school is a boarder, and there are some kind of a certain school, then they are the boarding schools, like Delhi College in Indore, like Agrawal Public School in Indore. So, and you have to write your percentage. Whatever you are writing in your percentage, it must be accurate with the points. Okay. Same goes with the 10+2. You have to mention your CBSE or the ICSE or the state board. Same, you have to write the institution, the place, year, medium of instruction, day scholar or the boarder, and accurate percentage. Right? For the 12th class, especially they had mentioned about your marks. Okay, so how much you got into the physics, chemistry, maths, bio, you have to write it and you have to mention it. Coming to the graduation, in which stream you are graduated, right? If you are a BA, then you have to write BA, BCom, BE, whatsoever. If you are an NDA entry, then if you are not applied to this, then you feel it blank, or you can write not available. Okay, and if you are pursuing, you have to tick mark into the pursuing. So same, the institution, the university, branch and stream, year of admission and year of completion. See, there is a lot of candidates who have a gap in a year of admission, year of completion. So you have to get ready. What is the proper reason for that gap? what happened actually at that time. Either it's any kind of a health problem, it's kind of a family problems, or any kind of a epidemic or something. You have to write your correct reason for that. Again, separate for the marks, how much you got into your semester. You have to write the semester. And if you are not in the semester thing, then you have to write 1, 2 and 3 year. First year marks, second year marks and final year marks. How much aggregate percentage you got. Same goes with the PG. If you are doing PG, then you can write about the pursuing. If you are completed, then you don't have to mention anything. Again, the institution, the university, subjects, year of admission, year of completion and all. 12th, any other qualifications. In any other qualifications, you write anything you had done. Write any kind of a certification course, like any kind of a animation or any kind of a some sort of an computer degree like PGDCA, DCA, any kind of a typing school you went on, any kind of a thing. Even is the smallest thing you have to mention here. Okay. I hope until now everything is clear. You can write any kind of your problem in the comment section below. Now this is very important. Coming to the point 13, the participation in the sports. So obviously we are living in India and there is a proper playgrounds, there are proper friends. So everybody been into any kind of an sports. I'm not talking about any kind of a online games or something. I'm saying about the outdoor games. So you have to mention, you have to write about the sports, whatever level you had gone into. Okay, so you have to mention your sports. If you played cricket, then you have to mention cricket and get ready for the questions asked by the interviewing officer. You don't have to bluff. Okay, if I didn't play any kind of a golf and I'm writing golf, then he will get our tongue. Okay, he will ask question about it, and if we will fumble, if we will hesitate, it's gonna cost our marks, and every marks count into the SSB interview. Okay, so you have to write the sports. If you are into the 2 or 3 sports like football, cricket, like squash, like anything, so you have to write 1, 2, 3. Okay, not in the same line. You have to write 1, 2, 3. Okay. Level at played. So which level? School or the college or university level, district level, state level, whatsoever. You represented the district or state. Okay. If you are a good player, if you are a player that went into the state level or the national level, you have to mention it, and it is gonna give you extra marks. Thus you are physically active, you have a stamina, you are alert, you are health conscious. It all is gonna check into your PIQ form, and they will check your PIQ form, whatever you had written in your TAT, in your VAT and in your situation reaction test. They are gonna cross check by your solution of the psychological test and whatever you had written in your PIQ form. Okay. Special achievement, whatever you had won, any kind of a laurels, any kind of a prizes, you have to mention it here. Even it's small, even it's big, you have to mention it. Outstanding achievements other than sports. Outstanding achievements like if you are into the dance, if you are good painter, if you are a good debater, you have to write it here. Okay, you have to write every activity. Like I was into the blood donation camp, I was a traffic volunteer, I was into the COVID service with NSS. So you have to write it. You have to write the time, level at which participated, and you held any kind of a responsibilities for that. So you have to write the responsibilities also, and interviewing officer is gonna ask you about that responsibility that is gonna add you into your officers like qualities, and definitely you will get marks. Now 15th is about NCC. If you had done your training in NCC, you have to write the total training. You have to write your wing, it's air, it's armored, or it's naval. Division. What was the division? Which certificate you obtained? A, B, C. Doesn't matter. You have to write. Some people are going to ask that, sorry sir, we are not a C certificate, we are only A or B certificate. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, but get ready for the questions here. Any kind of a position you got into your NCC training, then you have to write it here. Even if it's small, you have to write it. Okay, that is gonna tell about your leadership qualities, your teamwork, your coordination, and sometimes your social adaptability. That's gonna add in your marks. Okay. Hobbies. Hobbies is very important, and you don't have to leave blank. In hobbies, don't write about the sports, don't write about the games, don't write about your activity. Hobbies always are different. Don't mention any kind of a computer game. Hobby can be different, like I like to write poetry, I like to go to any kind of a orphanage to take the classes. I'm spreading the education like wildfire. Like anything, any hobbies. You like to do rangoli, okay? You like to do any kind of a mehendi, you like to do any kind of a social work, you have to write it. And don't bluff your interviewing officer, because he's gonna cross check, he's gonna ask you the questions, whatever you had written on there. Okay, some people are telling that they are very smart, they are very big, they had done a lot of things in their life, and they're gonna bluff the interviewing officer. So I'm telling you, sorry brother, you're gonna take this bad. It's gonna hit you hard, because you're gonna caught. And if you are gonna caught, then you are not going to give any kind of an answer. Okay, and it goes against you. Okay, so better be naive rather than be a liar. Okay, coming to the next. Your present occupation. Obviously, if you are into any kind of an occupation, you have to write. Sometimes there is any kind of an NDA candidate, and he is written that I'm an NDA candidate, but I take tuitions for the 6th, 7th or 8th class guys. So you can write it. You can write home tuition and your income per month. Or if you are from an CDS entry, if you are working after your graduation, you have to write it here. Next is service in the armed forces. So service in the armed forces is like if you are into any kind of a wing, like Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever position you are getting, in which kind of a trade you are, you have to write it. Okay, and how many years you had already served, how many months you were already served. Sorry. Now coming to the last page. This is very important. This is very crucial. Father. You have to write your father's name. You can add the prefixes like Shri. If your father in armed forces, you can write rank. Okay. If he is a doctor, you have to write doctor. If he is an engineer, you can write engineer. Okay. And if he is a retired person, then you have to mention the rank. And in the bracket, you have to write RETD, that he is a retired. Educational qualifications, please heed cadets. In this, you have to write the degree. You don't have to write that he's a graduate, he's a postgraduate, he's a matriculation. No. If he's a BCom, then you have to write BCom. If it's an MCom, MTech, or any kind of a thing, you have to write the degree. Okay? Occupation, it's a government or it's a private. In which kind of a department he is, firm, designation, you have to mention it very clearly, very aptly. And what is your income per month? You have to write accurate income, what is getting by your father. They are gonna check by it in which kind of a environment you are. If you are from an affluent family, if you are from a poor family, it is directly proportional to your opportunities the environment, the mind makeup, and it is gonna add into your psychological test. Okay, it's not good or bad, but whatever in situations you are, you have to tell them and they will get a slight idea about the environment you put it on. Okay, same goes with the mother. You have to write mother. You have to write her educational qualifications. If she is a postgraduate, you have to write the degree of that post graduation. If she is a housewife, you have to write menu maker or the homemaker. Same, the department, firm, designation and the income per month. Okay. In 20th, if your parents are not alive, unfortunately, then you have to mention, and you have to mention at which age they've departed from this world. Okay. So 21st is brothers and sisters. So you have to write about your brothers and sisters. Okay. You have to write their age. You have to write your education. So again, in the education, you have to write about their name of the degree, not that they are graduate or postgraduate or any kind of a thing. Okay. Occupation, you have to mention occupation, in which department they are. If they are aspirant, then what actually they are preparing for, or any kind of a minute details about them, you have to mention it. Okay. And if you are a single child, then you have to write not applicable. Last but not the least, the previous attendance in the SSB. If you've been into previous attempts in the SSB, you have to write about your SSB. If you've been to SSB 5 times and more, then you have to write about your conference out. You don't have to write about your screened out. Okay. In the bracket, you can write about how many times you screened out. Okay. But if you are less than 5, then you have to mention your screened out. And then if you are a conference out, you have to mention it there very clearly. Don't bluff here, gentlemen. You think that if I am a repeater, it's gonna give a bad impression on that. No, they have all kind of a database about your each and every attempt. They will assess you in their way. If you are a repeater, if you are a fresher. Repeater means you don't have to make the nominal mistakes. Watch what is done by the candidates. Understand? So you have to mention it truthfully, carefully. In the left, it is a date, and on the right, it is the signature of the candidate. So we completed our PIQ session. I hope you got it and you got benefited by it. Before going to your SSB interview, you have to write your PIQ form 2 to 3 times. You have to fill it very neat and clean, without any kind of a scribbling, without any kind of a false information or the error information, which gonna give you a shock into the interviewing officer, because it is their job to assess the candidates. If you are bluffing, they will get you, and it is gonna cost you very heavily. So we will come in the next videos. What is PPDT? What is the secret into getting into the PPDT? Because 85% people are getting screened out. So I will tell you what is my experiences, what is my say in getting screened in. If you want the Hindi version of this video, you can comment below. Thank you. Jai Hind.